Welcome to 10 TV Plus. My name is Dylan Robichaud alongside Jay Plyburn. We got a lot going on out there over the last few days. Hopefully everyone had a good Christmas, right?
Been a great Christmas. Been a mixed bag of weather over the past week or so. Super cold, not so cold, rain.
The seesaw effect is going to continue. So last week for the Buckeye game, it was frigid out there. This weekend, we're actually talking about the possibility of record warmth.
Something for everybody.
Exactly. Today, it's all about the gray and the cloudiness out here. And you can see as we get a look outside this afternoon, we are going to be tracking lots and lots of cloud cover here across the capital city. 7:52 is your sunrise today, was your sunrise, I should say. And then sunset promptly at 5:13 p.m. Day length now about 9 hours and 21 minutes. And in fact, as we are about to crisscross into the month of January, this month, we're actually going to be gaining 40 minutes of daylight. So the worst has already passed us, and now we're gaining daylight. Fun fact, though, the further down to the equator that you go, the less that your days fluctuate here. So your day length in, let's say, Miami doesn't really change a whole lot from June to December, whereas if you're in Toronto, it changes drastically. And even in the mid-latitudes like Columbus, like what we're seeing out here over the last few weeks. As we look here at your weather headlines, we get partial clearing this afternoon. We have not seen a lot of sunshine. The sun has not been our best friend, but we will be looking at some more returning late this afternoon. We are tracking a weekend washout, and some brand new model data that we got now shows over an inch of rainfall could be in the cards here Saturday night going into Sunday morning. So stay tuned. We'll talk about that here coming up in less than 2 minutes. So far for the month of December, things have been about normal for this time of the year. We've had just over 2 inches of rainfall. Normal is about 2.5 inches. So if you're plus or minus half of an inch, I mean, you're in the ballpark of where normal is. So we're not complaining about that. As we get a look at the most recent drought monitor, I have not showed this to you in a long time on TV, and that's because it hasn't really been a problem. Eastern parts of the viewing area still have a little bit of a drought, but as we zoom in closer to the metro area, all of Franklin County now is drought-free. And, you know, that should not surprise you with just all the rain that we've had lately. But out towards Zanesville and Caldwell and Cambridge, all those areas still have a moderate drought out there now. Next several days, we're looking at a small chance of rain today. Rain chances are highest on Friday. Not during the day, though. It's going to be late Friday afternoon. Saturday night going to Sunday morning looks like a big-time washout. So let's talk about that 10 weather impact right now. And we're looking at some heavy downpours. I have not yet committed to any specific timing on the arrival of the rain on Saturday night. Why? Because a lot of our model runs go back and forth, you know, by a couple of hours. So I don't want it to give you an exact timing. But generally speaking, if you are traveling Saturday night, it does not look great out there. Over an inch of rain expected. And look how warm it gets. Widespread 60s expected heading into the weekend. Saturday right now is 61 degrees. Sunday, wet both days. 58 degrees here on Sundays. We cooled off just a little bit heading into the second half of the weekend. Now, today we saw a few showers out there this morning. Now, as we go into the afternoon, still rather cloudy, but eventually by sundown, we start punching a few holes in the clouds. Things will improve a little bit. As we head towards Friday morning, you wake up tomorrow, not too bad. There will be some areas of fog on your Friday morning, but look at this right here. South wind, more of a east-southeast wind, and so that's going to allow temperatures to really warm up on your Friday. Most of the daylight hours are dry, but by about 3 o'clock, look at this right here. What is this? Our next storm front, okay? 3 o'clock in the afternoon, mostly light rain, but look down here in south of Chillicothe, some heavier pockets of rain possible. By 5 o'clock, that's out of here. So Friday, this is a very fast mover. This is round number 1, and I kind of consider this to kind of be the bread and butter before the main entree arrives on Saturday. So let's talk about that right here. Saturday morning, you wake up, it's not too bad, but then as we head towards Saturday night at 9 o'clock from south to north, we're getting some pockets of some rain. Unlike the rain that we had on Friday, this is going to be heavy rainfall. And so we're going to be looking at the possibility of some flooding or ponding on roadways, depending on exactly if you get caught up in a heavy band. This is 11 o'clock. So if you can get off the roadways before this arrives, you'll want to do that because this will definitely slow you down out there. From Logan to Athens, MacArthur, tracking some heavy downpours. And then eventually, as we head towards Sunday, things lighten up just a bit, but still tracking widespread rain all day long on Sunday. When all is said and done, on the high end of the scale, we could be looking at over 1.5 inches in some spots. And then you head down towards the Appalachian Mountains, you add on some elevation. Locations down to our southeast could be knocking on the door of 2 inches of rain when all is said and done. So this is definitely going to be a bit of a doozy. And then even out towards Indiana, we're talking over 1 inch of rainfall expected Saturday night heading into the day on Sunday. So again, let's go over that weather impact forecast. Saturday night, Sunday morning, just be ready. If you can be off the roads, I would definitely advise it because it won't be pretty out there. The other piece of this weather puzzle, the warmer air. This is hard to think about here. When you think about just how downright cold it was last weekend for the Buckeye game, and then this weekend we're in the 60s. Average high, by the way, 39. We're going 61 degrees here on Saturday. When you look at how high above average we are, look at this. About 23 degrees above normal on Saturday. Sunday, not far behind at 21 degrees above average. And then Monday and Tuesday, still warmer than normal, but not quite as impressive. Do we beat a record or do we even tie the record? I don't think so. I mean, the record is 68. So based on my forecast right now and based on all available weather data, I don't think that we have a shot at even tying the record. By the way, that was set back in 1984. My forecast 61, the record 68. It's not going to happen, but still will be a talker. The next 6 to 10 days, we continue to be monitoring above average temperatures from Maine all the way down to the mid-Atlantic. And it looks like rainfall is kind of near normal here in the Buckeye State. You head down to the deep south, down towards the Bible Belt. They're going to be looking at below average rainfall. And across Maine, Massachusetts, and all of New England, they'll be above average in the rainfall department heading into the beginning of 2025. Now, temperatures, generally speaking, will be warming up quite a bit. The warmest of it, though, will be this weekend. I mean, this yellow line is our forecasted temperatures. Down here is the date. So obviously the 29th of December would be this Sunday. And so gradually things start cooling on down. And then as we get out towards day 10, we're near normal. But notice that we never get far below normal. So we're not looking at any of the extreme cold like what we saw last week, at least not anytime soon. So that's something to keep in mind. As we get a look here at the 7-day forecast, Saturday tracking the warmth, and then as we head towards Sunday, here comes that conveyor belt of just juicy moisture coming in as we tap into that tropical moisture. That rain is going to continue Saturday and Sunday. Then eventually by Monday, we catch a little bit of a break, and then things eventually move off towards the east heading into early next week. We catch a break on Monday. Tuesday and Wednesday do look a lot better. Then as we head towards Wednesday, things will actually be closer to normal for this time of the year. We'll be dropping back down to around 40 degrees for the temperature. Not too bad, but we will be looking at lots of cloud cover through next week.
So ending the year on a wet and warmer than usual note.
Yeah, it's just 61 degrees. It's crazy to think about how warm it's going to be.
If only it were going to be sunshine and rainbows outside that day.
I don't think that's going to happen.
It's looking like rain.
While we're on the topic of talking about the cloud cover, that actually leads me into today's weather trivia question.
My favorite part.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and take a look at today's weather trivia question. What is the gloomiest city in America? All right, so we have Anchorage, Alaska, Seattle, Washington, Cleveland, Ohio, or Boston, Massachusetts. What do you think?
I've been to most of these places. I'm going to say Seattle.
Seattle. Okay, that's a popular one. People think Washington.
It rains a lot up there on the coast.
They immediately think rain and cloud cover. It's actually Anchorage, Alaska.
Okay.
All right, so Alaska sees. So Seattle, if you've ever lived there, I actually lived on the West Coast. They get June, July, and August. It's sunny most days.
Oh, okay.
So all the clouds and rain happen in the fall and the spring and the winter.
It's pretty gray.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and move on. I want to go back over to the wall and talk a little bit more about this. So we're talking here about the most and least gloomy cities. So here's Anchorage, Alaska, 65% of the time here. Now, Columbus did make the list. Columbus is number 8 on the list. 52% of our days are cloudy and gloomy, with December and January being the cloudiest. And then even Toledo made the number 10 spot at 51% of the days. Cleveland actually made the number 5 spot at around 55% of the time. On the contrary, if we look at the sunniest locations, look at Phoenix, Arizona. I mean, is this any surprise to you guys? This is the desert Southwest. Phoenix, 19% of the time it is cloudy, which means that 81% of the time it's sunny. And then as we go down, it's mostly Arizona and parts of California. Honolulu, Hawaii made the list. 26% of the time it's cloudy, which means 74% of the time it is sunny. And so far this month, we've only have had really 2 sunny days so far in the month of December. One of them happened this weekend. One of them happened last week. So, it's just we get a lot of cloud cover this time of the year.
I'm ready for the sunshine to return.
Yeah, well, you're my ray of sunshine, Jay.
No, thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. Well, that does it here for 10 TV Plus. Tune in for Michael Behrens tonight on 10 TV News starting right at 4 o'clock. We'll have more news coming up then.